Hey guys, AJ here from AJ's Garage. This is our 1998 Viper GTS, built by Moto. It makes 1250 wheel horsepower, tons of mods. Let's get to the details below. F1X Pro Charger, making 1250, built motor by Nth. It's got an upgraded fuel system from Nth as well, and then they have their own proprietary belt wrap system, so there's no belt slip with any bit of power on this thing. Motec engine management system. The factory ECU is still in there to control a little bit of the body control modifications. It's an M130, it controls the car, but more importantly, the biggest thing that this system has to offer on this car is traction control. With 1200 horsepower and 1100 torque, this thing can rip the tires loose at any speed under 150. That Motec system has independent wheel speed sensors, and the traction control builds off of that. So this is their Nth Moto's dry sump system. It's a massive tank. I forget the capacity, but I want to say it was somewhere about 13 or 15 quarts of oil. It is a remote system, of course, so all these are oil lines that run from here down through the bottom, through the center tunnel, up to the engine. Oil changes are really quick because the drain plugs are literally right below the car right here. One screw and then it drains it all. There is a hose on the bottom of the tank. It's a really neat system. Obviously we got the Motec box, and it comes with all the related hardware and software that you would need to install it. But this is the factory trunk, and here's my little neat oil level dipstick. Pop the cap, drop it in there, and it should be somewhere in that range. So this car has had a fresh oil change from Nth, I think just like 300 miles ago. Actually has new software in it as well on the Motec M130. So this thing runs and drives like a dream. It can be any temperature on the road and she'll hook and book. So maintenance wise on this 98 Viper, it is fully turnkey, up to date on maintenance. Nth Moto just did an oil change about 300 miles ago. The tires are about 1,000 miles old. We've had a fresh brake fluid flush. We did an AC charge on it. And actually the last time it was at Nth, they did a full inspection on it. There are zero issues. While they were doing the inspection, I had them do a software update on the M130 Motec. It had a couple issues with dying at stoplights, but it was a software issue. All resolved now, runs great, idles great, comes to a stoplight, stop sign, whatever. Never has missed a beat. This morning I drove it, it was about 40 degrees out. You know, the traction control knob, I had it full on. I let her rip a little bit, and that traction control kicks in right away. It's an amazing system. So favorite things about this car is it is loud. It is a race car. It gets the attention. It's so much fun to drive. It's so raw. You can take it for a cruise. It's super reliable. I used to run parts in it. I put about 500 miles driving it, just running parts around for my guys at my shop. That's a good built race car. You can do that in 90-degree weather with no issues. All right, so this interior is pretty stock, all original seats. These are the best known Viper seats out there. Everybody loves them. The only modifications are, obviously you see the dual gauges here. This is a narrative fuel gauge with a wideband setup, and then a boost gauge up top here. In the middle of the dash, we've got the switches for the Motec traction control. So the top one here controls your traction. All the way left is full on, and then it subsequents down to the right, varying the amount of traction that it interferes with. And then the last thing up on the dash, we have a red toggle switch right here with an arming light. So that is the burnout mode, if you want to call it. It locks up the front and then allows you to do the spinning on the back. Otherwise, the rest of it is all stock factory. All the gauges work. Fuel gauge, more importantly, works. I know these Gen 2 cars have a lot of issues with fuel level sensors, but we're good on this one. Everything works as it should. On the dash, we've got 29,493 miles. It is flex fuel tuning, so you can run pump gas or you can run any range of ethanol. It is on E85 1R ethanol, and it makes 1250 on that fuel. So if you run it on pump gas, you're probably making 700-800 wheel. It is a very, very safe tune for pump gas. It's purposely detuned just to make sure that everything is reliable and safe. But if you run it on ethanol, you can give it all the beans. It'll make all the power safely. Again, thanks to the Motec traction control. And again, lastly, it does have a factory ECU in it. to control all the body control modules. That would be like your doors, window operations, stuff like that. All right, so the overall condition of this car, it's actually very, very clean for its age. 1998 again, 29,500 miles. It's never been resprayed, never crashed, never wrecked, no accidents, zero paint work on top of that. The only other couple issues on it, there's a couple of small rock chips on the hood, on the roof. On the front, there's like a tiny scratch right here. But honestly, for, again, a 98, this thing is in absolutely mint condition. It's very tough to find the nice clean cars of this generation. So, you know, there's a huge value add in just that alone. You've got a nice, clean, collector grade, nearly collector grade car. You just won't find them out there these days. All right, guys, this is an absolutely incredible race car. Street driver too. Take it to the track, go rip on it. She ran 10.2 at 153. There's a lot more left in it. It was really soft out of the hole. Built by the best, Nth Moto. You got a lot of latest technology in this thing, but you got the classic looks. Turnkey, service-wise, ready to go, good tires. Runs like a dream. The shifter's got a nice kind of like a click in the gear. It's a short shifter. As you can see, it's super short. So, you know, you got to make sure you warm up the car before you do any sort of shenanigans. Yeah, so we're just cruising on the highway. It's, you know, the temperature, cooling's at 190, just under 190. Oil pressure is solid at about 70. Fuel, quarter tank right now. It's got 1 hour ethanol in it. Batteries, you can see the voltage is charging. The radio head unit works, but the speakers don't work, so I don't know what's going on there. But you can't hear that shit in here anyways. All you hear is motor and exhaust. I'm going to turn around here and we'll do a quick pull on the road on the on-ramp. But no, it drives great. It's absolutely amazing to consider that 1,250 wheel horsepower. And you can probably daily drive it. I ran parts for my shop boys at middle of the summer. It's like probably 80, 90 degrees out, somewhere in that range. Car did great. I mean, it got hot here, but car did great. No options, no failures, no nothing. The clutch is really light, so I'm holding the clutch down right now. It's not a light workout. You know, this car with over $150,000 in modifications and then the value of the car stock, I mean, you've got a great buy here.